Greetings, grasshoppers. Welcome to the Black Belt Podcast. This is, of course, RJ Redden. So happy to see you today. Great day in the morning here in Botland and the Bot Cave, actually. I just came up with that. That's awesome. Anyway, great day here. Got a lot of stuff to discuss today, including some changes in ManyChat. So happy to see Bill and Steven here. You know, you guys are my people. So thanks for joining. And this is going to be a great show. So let's first talk about a little change in the ManyChat platform today. Starting today, you can now accept payments. You can take payments directly in Messenger. If you're on the ManyChat platform, this constitutes a boon for many. I know that a lot of people over in the ManyChat community are very, very excited about it. I'm going to warn you all, tread carefully. It's brand new technology that they have released today. So, give it a week or so. There are apt to be some bumps in the road that folks have not foreseen. So tread lightly for the first week, always, my friends. For me, I'm not hitting the moon about this because I don't charge people for anything in my Messenger bot. My Messenger bots are all there specifically to create conversations with my people, to keep them engaged in what I'm doing. And then all of them lead to, half hour on the phone with me. So I'm not charging people within my bot. The only time I would probably use something like this is if a client and I were talking about doing some business together and I wanted to offer them a payment right in Messenger so that we didn't have to take the conversation somewhere else. So strictly kind of a convenience thing, honestly, for me. That's how I will certainly be using that. I don't see myself, trying to sell things in a bot. Everybody, when they're trying to talk about bots to people who don't know about bots, uses the statistics of the open rate. They all say, 90% open rate. And I say it too. The reason, though, that there's a 90% open rate is because people don't abuse selling within the Messenger bot. People don't, hit that over the head and try to sell you shoes and everything else. People will, that rate will absolutely drop, if people abuse the selling stuff enough. So for me, I don't sell. I encourage people not to sell. I encourage people to use it to build relationship, take that conversation offline, figure out if this is a person that you want to be with, and then transactions. Relationship before transaction. I was talking with somebody this morning. His name's Jim, and he was a great conversation to have. He said that right in the conversation. I'm like, yeah, you're my person. You're one of my people. Relationship before transaction. So yeah, but did want you all to know that ManyChat has released that feature. I know they've been working on it quite a while. They've been kind of testing it out with a few people and opening it up to larger and larger groups. So today, everybody got it. I have not personally used this yet, but I certainly will try it out with a friend and then let you know how it works. So that is all. Tread carefully, grasshoppers, new technology ahead. So, if you are not yet connected with ManyChat, be patient. The temporary hold on new accounts, new connections to Facebook pages, that's apt to be lifted anytime now. So, today's actual topic, after the breaking news section, today's actual topic is using broadcast to keep your audience engaged. Many of you know, if you're a viewer here, many of you know that on Thursdays we talk about keeping your audience engaged. On Tuesdays when we talk about getting new people, getting new subscriptions. And so today I picked a specific thing, using questions to engage your to keep your people engaged with your subscription. Now, before we start that, also, I forgot, we do have a question. Lottie Hearn, Ladies Go Live. Love that lady. She asked me a question in a different thread, so I have it on my iPad here. She asks, hey, RJ, noticing if we try to add new chatbots that they're not working for groups or pages or profiles, any Facebook news on this? Here's the Facebook news. They're not allowing access by any brand new accounts, brand new developers. They're halting all of that. It's that privacy stuff. It's happening across the board. But it's that data privacy stuff that Mark has been on Congress about. How many times have you seen that guy in a coat and a tie? It's hilarious, I think. Anyway, no news yet, Lottie. Do come into my group. Do come in and hang out there. I would love to have you there. And that's where a lot of my breaking news happens. Also on the show here. So I will let everybody, I will be screaming from the rooftops when you're able to connect a new account again, because I know that some folks are out there waiting. So because we linked it after the change, we couldn't get VidPresso to work on any Facebook page, not just a group. But old apps are still okay for pages and profiles. Yeah, anything that was previously connected, and this has been happening for the last couple of weeks here. Anything previously connected will totally work. Everything, there's been this little gap here, and then I think that they're probably likely going to institute a little review process for new stuff, which, honestly, folks, that's not a big deal either, because if you do Facebook ads, there's a review process before all of that as well. Facebook's just making sure they've got all the T's and the I's crossed and dotted. You know what I'm saying? So yes, patience, my love. This is what I give to you for advice and thoughts. And if you are really wanting to get something going quick, I do some services for my people. I've got some workarounds for you. So do get on my calendar, and we will talk about that. I'll drop a link for you where you left your comment, so that we can get connected, because I'd love to talk to you about if you need something to happen right now with a bot. So Stephen Healy says hello. Stephen Healy, love to see you. Glad you are here. Fantastic, darlings. So back to our original topic, using broadcasts to keep your audience engaged. So for me, one of the most effective ways to keep your audience engaged. Now, this is all once they're in your bot, they've subscribed, they've done your 7-day challenge, they've taken your free mini course, or they've typed live in the comments and subscribed to your bot if you're doing a live stream. Any one of those front doors will get people in to the bot. Great stuff. How are you going to entertain them once they're in? You do not want to advertise a party and advertise it so well that 100 people show up and not have any music playing. You don't want to do that. You want to have a plan to continue to engage people. These are, I think of my bot subscribers as another community. I do. Some of the folks in my bot are already in Black Belt Bots community. Join us. It's free. It's a fun time. It's a Facebook group. Some people are already in that community, but I think of this as a separate community, just because these are people who are engaged enough to really take the extra step to find out more information about you. These are people also who will engage with you on a different level than in a Facebook group. Facebook groups are really, really great stuff. Stuff for breaking news, stuff for keeping people, throwing out a poll out there every once in a while. Some groups on Facebook are super, super active. But in a lot of groups, you kind of get the same folks answering questions over and over again, which is great interaction, lovely for people to see. But taking questions, just one open-ended question into a bot and asking it will achieve you way different results than asking it in a Facebook group. Kim Boltzmann's here. She says, hey, Kim, how are you? Great to see you today. By the way, too, if you're in my Facebook group, I just dropped a link. If you want to join me online here, and hang out with me here on the show and ask a few questions or discuss a topic, just hit the link that I gave you there in Black Belt Bots community, and you can come on with me. Anyway, asking an open-ended question. It's been, for my coaching friends, it's a time-honored tradition about, getting people to think about certain things that they normally don't think about, and getting them to open up about things and talk about the things that are bothering them so that you can figure out if you're the right coach for them. This is a great thing. But again, in a Facebook group, you've got the folks who usually answer, which is a small percentage, and then you've got the rest of the folks. How do you get people to engage with you that, don't typically answer things in public? And that's, so in a bot, it's super easy. Just type your question and then, choose the open-ended answer, available on the Pro subscription, which is like $10 a month. Get there and just ask people an open-ended question. You can ask about opinions. You can ask them their opinion on something. What do you think of the recent Facebook changes? I'm just throwing stuff out there. But, depending on whatever it is that you're educating people about in your bot, asking people's opinions, asking them about their experiences. That's a huge one as well. Hey, have you had experience with blah, 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 blah? What was it like? You can also kind of ask open-ended questions about, about you. How are you enjoying? If you're a live streamer and folks, they type live and they get, reminded of your shows and stuff like that. You can do those too. You can do things like, hey, how did you enjoy the show today? What would you like to see? But I really would rather, if I'm going to ask a question inside a chatbot, I would rather ask them about them than to get more information about what I should be doing at that moment. Here's why. When you ask people their opinion, when you ask them their experience, when you ask them about them, people feel seen. And since it is deemed to be a one-on-one conversation, people will be a little bit more honest with you, and more people will certainly answer you than if you just ask the question on a Facebook post or ask the question in a group. This has happened to me many times. Kim says, danger, I could take over. I dare you to join me now. I dare you to join me, Kim Boltzmann. Very good. Yeah, pop into the community and hit that link and you'll be, we'll add you on screen here. I like to ask people about them. Here, it increases the know, like, trust factor of the relationship. And really, I like to talk about me. Enough about me, more about me. No, I love to talk about, what do people want? What do people want to see on the show? That's great. That gives me feedback as a person who is teaching people about bots. Gives me a little bit more about what they want to hear about. But really, if I'm trying to build the know, like, trust factor in a relationship, I want to ask you about you. I want to ask you, I want to ask you about your opinions, your experience. Those kinds of questions will get me more toward getting to know people a little bit better. Not everybody can join me immediately for a half-hour phone call. Not everybody can join me on a live stream, as Kim Boltzmann is doing right now. She'll be here in about 3 seconds. Oh my God, there she is. Hello, darling. How are you today?
Oh, hello, darling. I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic too. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. So my friend.
Yes.
You have a bot.
I have a bot or two or three.
Yes. Are you still I think you're still in the testing and experimental stage.
I am, but you did help me get my live bot going, which has been quite divine.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
How has that been? You get
great.
some
People are like,
subscribers?
yeah, when I had my show yesterday, people came in and I told them about it and they typed it in. They're like, it's so easy. That was really cool. I'm like, oh, thank you for the little bit advertising there. So yeah.
Cup of Content, people. She goes live every Wednesday, almost at the very same time I go live. We planned that real badly. We just did. But Cup of Content, great stuff, great social media love there in that group, which I'm a part of. So let's get back to the topic. I only remember it because I have it written on the side here. Do you think that you would use questions as a way to keep current bot subscribers engaged?
Totally. Because the teacher in me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've talked about this a lot with RJ before too, but it's like that choose your own adventure. Mm-hmm. And if you give them options and you make them easy options, they will happily engage with you over those easy options. The easy point of entry.
The easy point of entry. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Because I think that is huge in the world of messenger bots.
All right.
Now, did you know? Oh, Stephen Healy. I am thinking of it. Stephen Healy, you're amazing with your bot. I would love to see you ask some questions.
I know. I like Stephen's bot too.
Bliffbot, baby. Bliffbot.
Yep.
It's beautiful. So what kinds of questions do you think? Now, talk to me about, I know who your audience is because we wrote the bot, but
right.
Talk to people about, who your audience is, who you're trying to engage. And let's just workshop what kinds of questions could you ask them that would bring about, more know-like trust factor with your people. So first of all, who's your audience?
So my general audience is service-based businesses. So small businesses that offer a service. Okay. Now, obviously, RJ and I have talked about this before. I'm working on niching down those, that audience, because that is very broad. And what we have done is I've been working on a photography bot, one for photographers, because that's a service that I'm very familiar with. And yeah, that's been fun because, once you develop a bot that is niched down, you can duplicate it, right? Yeah, you can duplicate it and then you could change the target demographic for that and recreate and specify and, make it more unique to fit to that demographic. And then you can use that to pull in another demographic.
Exactly. So it's like, with the bots, ManyChat makes it pretty easy to be able to take a sequence, duplicate it, and then make it unique to that next audience that you're aiming at. It helps so much because before they had that option, I was totally copying and pasting, and it was just it was a pain in a sensitive area. But now talk to me about, and I know you know this answer because you're a social media queen. Talk to me about why you would want to make that message unique to a certain market.
Because it shows that particular market that I understand their field, and that I can show them specific things that they can use. They could walk out of that bot, They can walk out of the bot with the strategies that I've shown them. But at the same time, now they also see that, oh, she can help me. She gets me. And I think that's what we have to think about in marketing is like the empathy building aspect of what your bot can do, right? It's that choose your own adventure, but yet it's empathy building. Like, I get you.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. I've worked with that before, and here's what you need to do. And I think that that's really what's cool about bots is it has that more personal approach to it. It's one-to-one. And, we've talked about this before, like how great, how great that is for niching down, because they feel unique, even though it is automated. But, by, the different things that you apply to your different steps of your bot, like you can really make it feel personal. And that's what we're missing in a lot of marketing.
Well, and I'm so glad you joined me today because, my marketing struggles have been, listen, I am a person who people have been giving me this compliment for my entire life. And that is this, RJ, you listen to people like there's nothing else going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, but being able to take that and being able to actually have a two-way with a potential client of mine, it's been so hard to translate into the marketing methods everybody else is using. Right. Because what that entails often is shout a message, shout a message, shout a message. Now change the social media channel and shout the same message over and over to get over here, and now change the channel and do it again. Mm-hmm. What your group obviously has taught me how to do, and for me, what is so possible in Messenger is now I can just personalize that thing. Now I can take a talent that I already have, and instead of trying to, round peg square hole, or maybe it's the other way around. Different shapes, people. Anyway, instead of trying to pound something in there that isn't working, I can use my empathy skills. I can use my listening skills, mm-hmm. and I can tailor messages toward different groups of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Facebook, and what better channel to do it in than Messenger?
Yeah.
Because, that's next to text messaging. That's about as personal as you can get with someone. And it's, making sure that when you're doing it, you're not taking advantage of the platform and getting all up in their business.
Oh, yeah. So payments came out today.
I saw you posted about that because I follow you. It was in your Messenger broadcast.
So a lot of people are just overjoyed and up to the moon and just, having physical reactions. They're so excited. So again, if you haven't heard, you can now take payments directly in Messenger using, when you're doing a Messenger bot. For me, it's going to be convenient for the folks that are having a conversation with black belt bots.
Right.
That I have talked to personally, that have, kind of made it through that level of, yes, we've had a phone call. Right. If we're having a conversation in Messenger, I can offer them a way to pay for services without leaving. That's not the main, that's not the main thrust of the conversation. That's simply a convenience. Now I don't have to email you,
Mm-hmm.
Robert C. Stern says, hey. Well, now we've obviously classed the place down a little bit. I'm just kidding you, Robert. I love you, man.
Wait, wasn't Robert,
John Spratt says hello too. Hello,
wasn't
John.
Robert back in the Blab days?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Robert from Blab.
Well, who doesn't? The man was everywhere.
Blab,
Periscope. Yeah, the sternness is with us. His presence is over us all. Anyway, so let's go to what types of questions then. We've kind of covered your audience, your general audience, service-based businesses, your specific audience, the niche that you're going after right now, photographers. Mm-hmm. And so what are some specific questions you think you might be able to ask to just, broadcast out to everyone in your bot, ask and build trust relationships with people?
To everybody in my bot, or everybody in my bot?
I do. Yeah. So you can target your broadcast towards specific people.
Right.
Like my broadcasts, if you type live down there, you will be taken through a process by my bot that will help you subscribe to the live stream. Only the people that are tagged a certain way get the broadcast to come to the live stream.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you're not interested, I'm not going to bug you with it.
Right.
But I do overall. I just said do. Anyway, live. It's live, babies. Anyway, so I do a general broadcast at least once a week.
Right.
I'm just doing a general. Today it was a news flash because of new ManyChat features. Whenever Facebook settles its business and we get back to connecting new pages, I'll news flash about that again. But I do try to catch all of the people in my bot just to keep them engaged and remind them I'm still kicking over here.
So how would I do that with photographers? So obviously, because I do a lot of strategy, I think about this in the whole picture. So what I'm doing is, yes, I'm marketing to photographers, but then I'm going to create a landing page on my website geared specifically toward them. But that's where I need to figure out how to get that landing page to incorporate with a bot. And I've kind of created one aimed at photographers. It's like, what was it? Like a 5-day little something for photographers. I need to kind of trim that down a little bit. And, but yeah, that's what I want to do is I think I know photographers well, and I know that a lot of them have a ton of content. I mean, they take pictures for a living, right? So, and a lot of them are scared to use them because of copyright and, all that stuff. And I totally get that. However, we're in the digital world. It doesn't matter. Someone is going to steal your stuff at some point. It's not if, but when. Kind of like your data. Something's going to get hacked at some point. It's not if, it's when. But anyway, so, that's what I got to think about is how do I encourage them to be okay with sharing stuff, to start tagging the people that they've taken pictures of and making sure they've got all that background stuff ready to go. They've signed releases and things. I know I saw that, but they signed releases and everything like that. And, but focusing in on that, reassuring them that it's okay to share this stuff and that by sharing it, that's going to build their clientele. It's only going to, sharing what they've already done is going to show their skill and make them buyable, right? Because I like your stuff. I'm going to buy you now.
Okay. So one of their main fears is sharing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So can you gear a question that asks them why they don't share?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Can you say, in your career, how many things have you shared on social media? Do you can ask them, what's been your experience sharing things on social media?
Right.
Are you afraid of sharing things on social media?
Mm-hmm.
So you could gear a question around that specific pain point.
Right.
And, get an open-ended answer.
Right.
And then, give them the news that, the reality is that sharing for photographers
is caring.
Is caring. No, don't do that. That was whoops. No. But
I couldn't resist.
You couldn't. I know you. And I know where you live. Actually, I don't. Listen, everybody in the world, Kim Boltzmann's in Omaha. I've never been to her house.
I haven't been to yours either. We're gonna have to change that.
We're gonna have to change that. You're gonna have to visit the studio sometime. Yeah. But anyway, no, that's a perfect kind of question. If you're asking them their opinion, if you're asking them about their experience, those are questions that people have to think about. Those are questions that aren't simply yes, no, maybe. Those are questions that allow people to express themselves a little bit. And you with your market, with your very specific market, people, you know, photographers or artists, they're expressing themselves through their camera. So you know that they want to do that already.
Right. And, you know, I just had a photographer like in the last 2 weeks who's really, really good here in town. And he's like, how do I get myself out there? You know? And so we kind of talked through a little bit of a strategy on how he can do that. And he like messaged me last week. He's like, oh my gosh, I got picked up by Profoto and blah. And like, it was like a week. I was like, great. Write me a testimonial. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just, you know, listening to what your audience wants or what their problems are, listening to that. You're talking about people think you're such a great listener, but we have to be that way as business owners. If we expect people to buy from us, we have to listen. Yeah. We have to involve ourselves in their problems, not involving them in our business so much. It's because it's going to happen. I know I'm going on my soapbox here, but
no, really, I think your soapbox is important here. Mm-hmm. Tell me the latest. You've been on a run with several blog posts and some other stuff. Talk to the folks about what you're currently talking about. Yeah,
so I think where content is going in 2018 is this movement toward focusing on focusing on your clients and customer stories instead of so much on your own. And I think there's no reason why we can't be telling our own story because it's still relevant and important, but we have to figure out how we can place what we offer into the lives of our clients and customers. Because at the end of the day, we're selling results, right? We're selling results of something. We're not selling a chatbot, right? RJ is selling the results that you're going to get from this, right? And that's what we have to make clear to people is like, how are they going to feel when they're done using or while they're using our product or service? That's we're selling that. Yeah. And so by putting ourselves in their stories and I get you, I feel you, I totally get it. You know, by doing that with our clients and customers, that's what's going to sell. And I think, you know, if you guys start implementing that, that's what I'm starting to do. And it's working well for me. I'm getting people signing up for my trials and things like that. And that's what I want. But I'm putting myself in their shoes. Like, I totally get it. I know it's hard. You're a small business owner. You only got so many minutes in the day. You know, and RJ's doing the same thing. I get it. You know, you want to do something different with your marketing. Chatbots are the way to go. And she's right. And I can't wait till they take the freeze off and let new people join. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I know. So, but yeah, it'll be awesome when they do. And you might as well be ready for it because, you know, no matter what, it's coming. And I think RJ is right. It's the future of marketing.
I want it to be the future of marketing so badly. I, along with every other small business owner that I know, have spent time trying to fit a different model, the antithesis of what you've just been talking about. Here's how I need to talk about myself on my about page in order to be effective. I need to have this many social proofs, and I need to talk about myself in a certain way, and it's fine for a while. It's fine for a while, but I'm not seeking out everybody in the universe anymore.
Right.
I am seeking out people that, you know what, probably anybody could teach what I teach. Mm-hmm. It's like math. There are certain things you need to know, but I want to find people that really respond to the way that my perspectives on things.
Yeah.
I don't want people who are going to, kind of come on and go, okay, how can I get 5,000 followers overnight? Listen, right. I have got the names of people who will do that for you.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's not me. So learning how to have that conversation, and a huge part of conversation, right? And you and I have been doing it right now. It's questions.
Yeah. And you guys, I'm not saying this, and RJ didn't let me come on here just to like toot her horn, but seriously, like this girl, you're chock full of ideas.
Yeah.
Like you, and I feel like I'm a pretty firm strategist, but man, you've got great ideas. And you guys, if you're not talking with RJ right now, you need to get, she has to be on your radar, and the very close part of your radar. Type live in those comments and, sign up to talk to her. I mean, she's fantastic. She'll blow your mind. I just had to shout out for you because it's true. I mean, you've helped me a ton, and you've got so many great ideas that I just, I didn't even think of because I haven't been looking at it that way. And that's why I've been talking about changing. We got to change content. We have to change it. We have to change marketing. We have to flip it on its head.
Flip it on its head, baby.
Turn that table over. Wipe everything up. Yeah. So, but I want to take up, because I'm sure you've got other people that need to come on and partake in your awesomeness.
Well, yeah. Well, I would love it if you're in my community, I threw the guest link right in the post, Black Belt Bots community. And so, come on if you've got any questions, or if you want to talk about what are the kinds of specific questions that you could ask in your chatbot. I have been given permission to share this, but I do have a client. It is not Kim. But I do have a client that posted a question. She's a coach. She posted a question to everybody that was subscribed to her chatbot. And it started 9 conversations. And she enrolled a person into her signature program that day because of a question. And the question was, it was not complicated. You ready to hear this?
Yes.
The question was, are you procrastinating?
Duh. Is that like one of the options? Duh.
Yeah, duh. Well, it was an open-ended. It was an open-ended. So there wasn't options, but yeah. So it caused people to think, when and I do this a lot in my bot, I'll pose a question and I'll have several answers. When you make it open-ended, you cause people to have to think and reflect.
Right.
And when people reflect, that's when they get perspective. When we, most of the time in our workaday lives, you and me, certainly, we're nose to the grindstone, working away. It's what we do. You have to have those moments of reflection to be able to zoom out 30 feet and go, right. Is this what I want?
Yeah.
Is what I've been working so hard to get what I really want, and what kind of results am I getting? So when you ask those open-ended questions in a bot, people, they see their messenger ping, they pick it up and they go, I mean, they really think about it. And she had it was a couple $1,000 is her signature program that came in for her, started several conversations with people, and she doesn't have 5,000 people in her bot. She had about 93 at the time.
Wow.
So
it works.
It works. It works. It works wonders.
Craft it right. Just got to craft it right. Yep. And don't think, there's a lot of similarities between it and email marketing, but you can't think of it like email marketing. That's the thing I've learned from RJ is like, this is a two-way conversation that we're not used to having. So, we are used to having it, but we're not used to having it like a business. So I think that you really got to think that through. And like you said, that 30-foot view, it's really important for us to take quality time every day to work on our business instead of in it. Because when we work too much in it, we forget that 30-foot view.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Yeah. I mean, are we even paying attention to, you know, the little, the patterns basically.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that, super helpful stuff. For those watching, darlings, what questions would you ask in a bot? What kind of a broadcast would you do? What kind of questions would you ask? You can focus on opinions, you can focus on experiences. What would you ask in a bot to help people recognize where their pain points are? What questions would you ask to start a conversation? Want to see this?
Yeah, better yet, put in the comments what your who your audience is.
Oh yeah, totally do that.
Start there. Yeah. Sorry, had to strategy knocked in. But who's your audience? Yeah. And then then RJ can help you. So I'm gonna take this moment to exit.
Okay.
My spousal unit's been working overnights and he's awake now because he's switching back to daytime. So I'm gonna go grab lunch. I'm gonna watch the rest of this in a little bit, but
yeah, baby, go ahead.
Dip out. You guys, see you later. RJ, best. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, so we have a little exercise. Should you wish to participate now, if you're watching this on the replay, know that I'll come back and ask you more questions. You don't have to answer this right now. You can totally answer it later, but pop in the thread right now. If you're watching, who's your audience? Who are your intended people? Throw it in there for us. And then in a minute, I'll broadcast the next question. I'll throw it on the screen like this. But what questions do you think you could brainstorm to ask people to keep them engaged in your chatbot? A lot of people, and I've said this before, we've been talking about, we spent a lot of time. I've been working on this since June. We've spent a lot of time talking about getting more eyeballs in, getting new subscribers, popping that rate up. That is great stuff. But I think that it is a situation where, if you go on vacation, they say take twice the money and half the clothes. When you're packing, you're focusing on the wrong things. Really, you're going to spend more money than you think you're going to, and you're going to need less, 17 changes of shoes. I only own 3 pairs of shoes anyway. So it's a situation where I think that folks, because everybody's just starting out, the focus is way on, how do you get more people in? We talk about that on Tuesdays here in the show. But on Thursdays, we talk about how do you keep them in there? How do you keep people that are subscribed already? How do you keep them paying attention? How do you keep giving them value? Here's something really weird. And that is, here's just something I've experienced, is that you don't always give people value by telling them something. Sometimes you give people value by asking them a question and them leading themselves to the answer. The only reason I know this is because I teach up at the university. That is one of the tried and true tricks of my trade is don't give them the answer. Ask them questions that will cause them to go on a little journey and find it themselves. Within a bot, that is perfectly easy to do. Ask a question, make it something that's focused on it could be on a potential pain point, some of this could be blue sky. What's your favorite movie and why? You could use those kinds of questions as well. Not everything has to be super deep. But to me, the questions that have been so super effective for my clients so far, stuff that's open-ended, stuff that's focused on experience or opinion. So, so yeah, that's kind of the show today, really, darlings. I'm so glad that you stopped by. If you do happen to be watching the replay, tell us who your audience is. Tell us questions that you think might be effective in a chatbot. I will come on and personally answer you, because to me, what we're doing here at the show is it's a very personal thing, and I appreciate every single person who stops by. This is the beginning of an adventure, and I'm so happy to have you on it. So thank you for stopping in. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, it's easy, because I spend my whole day on the internet. Go to blackbeltbots.com. That's a website. You can totally check that out. If you want to get my free 7-day mini course on what bots are, what can they be used for, how to build bots, it's super easy. Go to checkoutmybot.com, and that will take you directly into Black Belt Bot. And the 7-day mini course is right there in Messenger. And if you are interested in maybe checking out some of the templates and classes I have on offer, go to blackbeltbots.com/shop. Pretty easy, right? And go check out what I have for you there. And that's about all for the day. Thanks again for joining me. You're the greatest out there. Next Tuesday, we'll talk about more ways to get people into your chatbot, and more help and tips on how to design those bad boys. So that's all I've got. I hope you all have a wonderful day out there, and I will see you in a bot.